like two side by side, what's the one on the left? So once again, we have a thicker what? Tunica media. This little layer here, tunica externa, that layer. Tunica intima. Over here, this layer. Tunica externa, that layer right there. Tunica intima. And then in between, tunica media. What's this one?
Vein.
This one?
So they both have the same structures, it's just the difference is a vein and artery. A vein is squiggly and an artery is circle.
Because of the muscle that's in there.
Okay, that's not that hard. Okay, that one's just like that. I was guessing that big one was the artery, and that little one in the corner was a vein. Okay.
Layer.
Tunica media.
Externa. Tunica externa. This is the
Vein.
vein. This one is the artery. Any questions on that?
On the exam, are they going to have them like both in the field of vision to compare?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, for comparison purposes, yeah. The one on the left? On the right?
Tunica media. Tunica intima. Tunica externa.
So it can be kind of fluffing off the edge of the vessel. Over here,
Tunica externa.
externa.
Tunica media.
So it's not going to like point it here and you go, it's going to be very,
Distinct.
yes, purposeful. All right, so on the submandibular, three structures. Again, these are going to be almost the same as the sublingual. So the mucus acini, the serous acini, and the salivary ducts. So on the submandibular gland, the serous acini is going to be the majority of the types of structures in this. The salivary ducts, and anytime you see the word duct, you're looking for a circle of cells, or cells that make a circle. Cells that make a circle. And then the mucus acini are cells that will remind you of mucus. So this is the lowest objective. I'll point out what they look like here, and then we'll move up one. So all the background cells, the majority of the whole thing, these are the serous acini. So all those little dots, what are those? What are the itty bitty dots? What are the little bitty dots? What are dots inside cells? The main dot within a cell. Nucleus. So all those little dots are nuclei. These circles are what? Salivary ducts. And then these here, these blotches. Now here's a caveat about this. I'm trying to avoid saying colors because they're not all stained using the same dye. And so you shouldn't learn it to be, oh, this is the one that's hot pink, or this one's this one. That's not a good thing to do. So that's why I'm trying to focus on the majority type of cell is the Sirius Cassini. The circles of cells are the salivary ducts. And then the ones that are sparse here, those are the mucus Cassini. So we'll go up and reject it here. And a lot of times people want to say that those swatches are adipose, but they're not adipose because you can see there's nuclei in here. These little edges are nuclei. So they're not adipose. So what are these again? Salivary ducts. These things? Mucus Cassini. They're actual individual cells clumped together. And all of these cells in the background?
Sirius Cassini.
Do you want ours?
Maybe. So maybe good. Yeah. Now on this one, all those white specks, that is adipose. Let's find some mucus Cassini. And if we're seasick, motion sick, don't look at anything. salivary duct. These.
Mucosacini.
This is adipose. Mucosacini. So they look a little different. And then all the background. Serosacini. A little rougher on this, but salivary ducts bound. Serosacini. What was this again?
Adipose.
Adipose. Don't fall for that. So you may have to, on your slides, look around a little bit more for the mucosacini, but they're there, and they look better through the scope than they do on the screen. All right, any questions on the submandibular? All right, with sublingual, we have mucosacini, they're the salivary ducts, but then we have what's called serous dimilunes. Now there are serosacini in here, it's just that they're harder to see because the mucosacini is now the more prolific cell type. So the serous dimilune is going to be something of a unique structure to this. So this is something that you would look for to distinguish that this is the sublingual gland. And if you think about mucus and that kind of secretion, then you can think of your tongue involved. Making really wide connections here, but if you think of lingual, tongue, more mucus, mucosacini. Can we get these little patterns going? So what's this?
The duct.
The salivary duct. So it's the same. Salivary duct. All these things. The majority of this mucosacini, all of the mucosacinis. Now for the serous dimilune, think of it like one of those beanies, like the beanie caps, on a mucosacini. So if you see a mucosacini, and you see this kind of crescent-shaped moon hat on it, that's a serous dimilune. So we're going to have to go up another magnification to see those a little better. Oh, perfect. So there's one right there. Very nice. Crescent-shaped moon. There's another one up there. There's another right there. So, that's good.
What are they called?
Serous dimilunes. Serous dimilunes. Oh, what's that?
The duct.
The duct. Salivary duct. This? Mucosacini. So if it's pointed to the edge of the mucosacini, you see that little cap, that's a serous dimilune. And they're going to point out the ones that are pretty, thick and everything. Otherwise, it's not worth it. But here, this would also be serosacini, but because it's not everywhere in here, we're not going to ask for it. You don't have to know that, but it's still there. So again, any of these little caps are the what again?
Serous dimilune.
Serous dimilune. Salivary duct. Circle cells. Actually, there's two. Would you consider that a duct?
No.
Why not?
There's no cap.
I guess it is.
What are we looking for when we say a duct? Circle of cells. So cells that go around in circles, right? All the way around, like a circle. So this has nothing like that. There's nothing there. So that might be some kind of vessel that's there instead. one might be one that needs to be on a larger than the minimum objective to see the structure. I think what students may like to do is look at the microscope and go, that's high objective. I can see that. Look at the paper. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work. All right, one more of these sublinguals. And we'll move on to the tongue. Wait, is it tongue or tooth? Tooth.
Tooth.
Salary duct. Mucosine.
Serious Demerluns.
There's a nice one right there.
Seriously.
What did you say that, did you point to that big circle structure?
I believe so. For the salivary duct?
Did you say that?
Mm-hmm. All right, for the tooth, there's, again, areas that you have to know. So again, crown, neck, and root. So for the crown, this would be anything that's above the gingiva. The gingiva is going to be the gum in there, and it's going to look like wings. That's what the gingiva looks like. So anything above that is the crown. Anything around that gingiva, that's the neck. And anywhere that's pointing to you where you can see bone, that's going to be the root. So crown above the gingiva, at the gingiva, neck, where you see bone, that's the root. So gingiva, the wings. Cementum is that very thin layer, but that's down in the root. The dentin is the majority of what makes up the tooth. The alveolar bone is the socket where the tooth fits. The periodontal ligament holds the tooth to the bone. And then the pulp cavity is the center of the tooth. And we'll start with this one. And I generally just orient them to make it easy on us here, so that they're top and bottom, but there really isn't necessarily a top or a bottom, because this could be a top tooth and it could be a bottom. I haven't really seen a tooth that's been upside down on these, but they could be sideways, which is what this other one's going to be. All right, so let me just come down here. Okay, that's enough. All right, so this right here is the alveolar bone, all that right here. So if the arrow or the pointer was anywhere in this area or further down, then this would be the root. This is the gingiva. So if it was anywhere in here, that would be the neck. And then if anything above here, the top, that's the crown. So if it's somewhere even with the bone, what was it again? Root. Even with the gum or the gingiva, neck, and above that, crown. So is the area. So it would say, what's the area within the pointer? Root. Look for root. So gingiva, alveolar bone. This is the pulp cavity, center of the tooth, pulp cavity. All of this in here is dentin. All of it, dentin. And then we get to a few little layers on the edge here. So let me move this down just a second. Okay, so here's the bone, right? Everybody see the bone? Yes. In order to stick the tooth to the bone, we need a ligament. Well, that's this right here. That's all this. And then the very edge of the bone, edge of the tooth, goodness. So this is dentin. At the very edge There's a little bit of a difference, slight difference, that's a cementum. So it might have a question that would be like this. There's the pointer. And the tissue to the left, alveolar bone, tissue to the right,
The
periodontal ligament. It might be here, to the left, nope, to the left, periodontal ligament, to the right, cementum. So it could be like that. So you just got to be careful about what your left and right are. Making sure you can do that. So it probably would not be this magnified, simply because then you lose sight of what this is in a way. So again, alveolar bone, periodontal ligament, and the cementum on the edge. And dentin. And what was that? Pulp cavity. And what area are we in? Area? The root. So again, this one does not look like really any other slide. Crazy. The other one.
Looks like wings.
Okay, what's that?
pulp cavity.
Pulp cavity. All this? Dentin. Dentin. Area?
Neck.
Neck.
Gingiva.
Gingiva. Gingiva. Area?
Root.
Alveolar bone.
Alveolar bone.
Cementum.
Cementum. That.
Periodontal ligament.
Periodontal ligament. And area. That's real nice. Nice cementum there. Look at that. You don't see it very well. All that cementum. That's nice. Periodontal ligament, alveolar bone, gingiva, dentin, pulp cavity, and the area. So any questions on the tooth? So review your time wisely.